Good morning, everyone. Oh, I am kind of in the dark, aren't I? There, better. It's a little cool this morning, and I got up early. Sissy had to go to work, and when she has to do that, she gets up at 4 o'clock. Oh, here's a fire, guys. It needs fuel. It's right there. My wonderful husband made sure we had enough for a few days here. Is this enough for a few days? Yep. When I'm here by myself, I'm very conservative. I have all the curtains drawn here. One room's all I need to have some warmth. I'm good with that. The weather. So I just watched a very interesting little video about the weather, and sounds like there's quite a few storms coming in on the west coast. Well, at least you guys won't have to worry about water for a while, it looks like. And interesting on how the guy explained it all, and the jet stream, which jet stream, oh yeah, right, I've heard about that. But then, and he shows it. It's a real good demographic and everything. So anyway, so what are people going to do with that one now, right? Yes, lots of snow, lots of rain, right? What are you gonna blame that on now? The one thing towards the end he says, don't be scared, be prepared, right? Which brings me to something else. So I'm going to watch. This was a day yesterday that he posted that video. And I'm going to watch, see what's going on. I kind of could see on the map, Kentucky will be affected. I did see that it looks like it's just going to bypass us again. But we'll see what happens. And we're probably going to get some more rain. We just filled our tank again. We did have almost 800 gallons in our spring house that we transferred into our tank a little farther down, which then now the tank's completely full, and which will feed the house and the barn. Yes? Isn't it wonderful? Okay, so what if we have an underground spring here right in the basement, and it does dry up every once in a while, but it's very rare, and when it does, I get to clean it out. That's the time to clean it out, right? Yes, because there's also settlement going on, this and that. Anywho, so it always works out. And so our tank is full again, okay, which is great if we are going to get really cold weather again and snow, which means even in the tank, things start to freeze yet. When we first got the tank in, again, old timers says make sure that you put some kind of a bottle in there, right? Either a milk a gallon container or a empty bleach container, with the top on, of course, because that will keep the top from freezing, and which will keep the water underneath from freezing. Interesting? Yes, it works. It actually does work. And also, again, I've seen so many people again with their busted pipes. I'm not kidding, try it. I'm not sure how it works when you are hooked up to the main water line or whatever, okay? But if you just let the water drip on nights where it gets so cold, then the water shouldn't freeze in your pipes, okay? Just drip. You don't have to, there's no need to have it going full blast or anything. Just let it drip, or a real small steady stream. That's not going to affect your water bill, okay, by more than $1 or so. You know what I mean? So try it. Right? Yes, that's what we do here. Our pipes are never frozen. Okay? We had them in the past, right? Because I didn't know better. And, but it works. It works every time, people. It works every time. Okay, so we got weather coming again, which is normal. Oh, and again, where is the global warming thing here, right? Yes, I don't know. Are the ice caps kind of rebuilding themselves a bit too? We don't hear anything about that. Yes. So, again, how hyped up is all this stuff? Yes? All right. Don't be scared. Be prepared. We're prepared here all the time for anything. Okay? Except for if the house burns down. What you gonna do, right? Yes? They'll have everything that you really want and need and don't want to lose in a container. Okay. All right. So I saw something where, well, what if, right? Just the internet all goes down this net. It is amazing on how people are really hooked on their little devices and this net, right? Yes? Well, I tell you what I do here. Huh? I just like the next person. I like my entertainment. I like watching movies. I like having something going while I'm doing crafts or sewing or this or that. I like having something else that I concentrate on as well, especially when I'm here by myself. So I still have a DVD player, yes, and it works. And I have DVDs still. Not that many, but enough where my favorite movies, this and that, where pop that in. Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time. Yes. And your anxiety level of not being able to will go down. Yes, you need electricity. So what to do, right? Well, one thing, again, we still have gas out there, plenty of it. To have a couple of cans, yes, ready, and to get a small generator and save up the money. And how much do people spend on all kinds of things they don't need more of? Okay, or just saying, put that money aside. I saw a good one. On the 1st of January, put $1 aside. On the 2nd January, put $2 aside, and so forth, all the way up. Oh, no, a week. I'm sorry, it's not even the first week in January. You put $1 aside. The second week of January, you put $2 aside. Okay, so it's and you go on as the weeks progress. Whatever week it is of the year, that's how much money you put aside. And in week 52, at the end of the year, you have almost $1,300 saved. Right? Yes? Well, that makes 2 generators there. 2 good generators. Right? Really? Yes? Or could be your money for the Christmas presents, right? Rather than going into debt. I thought that was a really cool kind of thing. I don't really spend money on Christmas presents. I make them all myself. Yes? Yeah. Anywho, so there it is. Little things, right? Yes, that are interesting and that helps being prepared, right? Or get to the point where then you are better prepared without having to go into debt, for example, right? Yes, yeah. People not forgot how to household with things, or right? Yes. Now, the storms in the West Coast looks like it's going to be, looks like you guys are going to get hit pretty bad. So, if you have people that live farther inland, I'd be just for the time, I'd be saying, okay, I'd move a little bit to higher ground. Yes? Yeah, I don't know. One just has to see. But I definitely wouldn't just ignore the warnings that we have now. Interesting too, right? So all these monitoring that we have going on when it comes to the storms and where they might be going, I always find it interesting to see how accurate are these systems we have in place now to give us warnings for this or that, right? Yes, I think. And seems like that it's getting better. People are getting better at doing that, reading the schematics and all that. Interesting. Something that I kind of follow a little bit just to see, okay, can we really predict the weather or not? The guy even says, well, I do know this is what's going to happen. I'm not sure how it's going to affect the rest of the United States. That'll just be something, again, which he does exactly what I do. Let's see what happens with what we have beforehand and what actually will happen. right? Yes? It's a little knowledge that I think is kind of important. Anywho, we're probably going to get a lot of rain again, which will fill up our spring again, which is already filling up. We were supposed to get rain for a couple of days. I don't think we got any. If we got very little, I didn't even notice. Our horses were out. They're not wet, so I don't know. Something passed us over. Didn't happen. Anyway, no big deal. So, again, praying that everyone will be safe. Please help each other out during times of uncertainty like this, where storms, you can't control those. They just come and they go. So, we're in Exodus 19, and we're in part 3, the covenant at Sinai. More covenants. Decalogue. The covenant and the Decalogue. The Israelites reach Sinai. Exodus 19. 3 months to the day after leaving Egypt. Oh, by the way, the 15th day of the second month, they went by the lunar calendar. I did not know that. I know Asian people do that, right? Asian countries do that. I did not know that Middle Eastern, there was some stuff like that going on there too. I don't know if they still do now or not. Oh, something to go check out. What calendar do they have now? But that would be April 15th. The first month is March. Yeah, there you go. Kind of reminds me of when I first came to this country. I didn't know they were doing things in inches and feet and yards and ounces and stuff like that, right? We had the metric system in Europe, and the metric system is really it's by tens. Everything is by tens, or hundreds or thousands, and it's really simple: kilometers, meters, millimeters, centimeters, liters, deciliters, milliliters, right? Yes? Yeah, okay. So, it's all about tens, and it's a really simple system. And here it's like, what? How much is a foot? How much is a yard? How much is an inch? How do you guys measure things? So complicated, Yeah. Wait. Then I heard about bushels and this and that, especially here in the mountains. Some of the old weighing systems are still in place. I'm going, what the heck is that now? Just interesting, right? Yes? And so, again, when I'm going, okay, the second month, the 15th of the second month, okay, is that the same that we have? No, it's a lunar calendar. And the lunar calendar always changes. And I'm going, man, why make it so complicated? Can't we just have the same thing all around the world, right? Well, again, it's a culture thing, so be it, right? Yes? And it's interesting to go and read up on it, Oh, so the first month is, that's why you guys are doing things like this and doing things like that. Again, so then rather than have misunderstandings, you start to understand on how people work in different places in the world when it comes to measurements, when it comes to time, right? Yes? Okay. Well, anywho. A calendar. Okay, I have to mention that. Okay, 3 months to the day after leaving Egypt, the Israelites reached the desert of Sinai. 3 months. Oh. So, the foregoing stories, it's not been within more than 3 months. Oh, interesting. Setting out from Rephidim, they reached the desert of Sinai and pitched camp in the desert. There, facing the mountain, Israel pitched camp. Yahweh promises the covenant. Moses then went up to God, and Yahweh called to him from the mountain, saying, "Say this to the house of Jacob. Tell the Israelites, You have seen for yourselves what I did to the Egyptians and how I carried you away on eagle's wings and brought you to me. So now, if you are really prepared to obey me and keep my covenant, you, out of all people, shall be my personal possession, for the whole world is mine. That's some pretty strong statements here. For me, you shall be a kingdom of priests, a holy nation. Those are the words you are to say to the Israelites. So Moses went and summoned the people's elders and acquainted them with everything that Yahweh had bidden him. Oh, he only summoned the elders. And if we consider how many there were, okay. And the people all replied with one accord, whatever Yahweh has said, we will do. Moses then reported to Yahweh what the people had said. Did they all go back and tell all of their people? Okay, this is what Moses said. I wonder how that went. I wonder if that was really related properly through all the channels. Interesting. Preparing for the covenant. Yahweh then said to Moses, look, I shall come to you in a dense cloud, so that the people will hear when I speak to you and believe you ever after. Moses then told Yahweh that the people had said what the people had said. Yahweh then said to Moses, go to the people and tell them to sanctify themselves today and tomorrow. They must wash their clothes and be ready for the day after tomorrow. For the day after tomorrow, in the sight of all the people, Yahweh will descend on Mount Sinai. You will mark out the limits of the mountain and say, take care not to go up the mountain or to touch the edge of it. Anyone who touches the mountain will be put to death. Holy cow. No one may lay a hand on him. He must be stoned or shot by arrow. What? Whether man or beast, he shall not live. When the ram's horn sounds a long blast, they must go up the mountain. Oh. Wow. That just doesn't sound like God to me, but dear me. Maybe it's just a warning. A lot of people. We don't want to stampede up the mountain or something. Interesting. How did that? Man, it sure be interesting to know if there are any accounts at all among the Israelites from way back, their ancestors and stuff, if there are still some writings or something around, that would explain this a little better than what we're getting here. Because, boy, that sounds terrifying. So Moses came down from the mountain to the people. He made the people sanctify themselves, and they washed their clothes. He then said to the people, be ready for the day after tomorrow. Do not touch a woman. Oh. Well, dear me. Do not touch a woman either. I mean, we all know what that means. That's so interesting. The theophany on Sinai. Theophany. Theophany. I have no idea what that means. This is... Never heard of that word. I'll check that out, what that means. Now at daybreak, 2 days later, there were peals of thunder and flashes of lightning. Oh, well, here we go. I talked about storms beforehand, didn't I? Dense cloud on the mountain and a very loud trumpet blast. And in the camp, all the people trembled. Scared. Then Moses led the people out of the camp to meet God. How many? Everyone? And they took their stand at the bottom of the mountain. Mount Sinai was entirely wrapped in smoke, because Yahweh had descended on it in the form of fire. The smoke rose like smoke from a furnace, and the whole mountain shook violently. Sounds like a volcano to me. Louder and louder grew the trumpeting. Moses spoke, and God answered him in the thunder. Yahweh descended on Mount Sinai, on the top of the mountain, and Yahweh called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. Yahweh then said to Moses, "Go down and warn the people not to break through to look at Yahweh, or many of them will perish. Even the priests who do have access to Yahweh must sanctify themselves, or Yahweh may burst out against them." Moses said to Yahweh, "The people cannot come up Mount Sinai, since you yourself warned us to mark out the limits of the mountain and declare it sacred." Yahweh said, "Away with you, go down, then come back, bringing Aaron with you. But do not allow the priests and people to break through to come up to Yahweh, or he may burst out against them." Oh. That's, again, this is oddly written, as if someone else was actually. I thought Yahweh was talking to Moses. Now Yahweh's talking. He's not saying, "or I may burst out against them." He may burst out against them. So Moses went down to the people and spoke to them. You know what? I'll tell you what this sounds like to me. And interestingly enough, this has come up for me in my life recently, or for a couple of years now, more and more. And it is, you take a stance. When it comes to right and wrong, you take a stance. Right? Yes? Oh, are there gray areas? You know, certain things come up and we get to decide. Right? We make the decisions, we choose. And sometimes a difficult choice has to be made. That's true. But those are exceptions. They should be exceptions. Right? Yes? And one should allow for exceptions in certain things where the lines are a little bit blurred. Right? Yes? Yeah. But the blurry lines shouldn't become the norm. Right? That then, within the blurry lines, one gets to do whatever and suddenly demand rights for this or that, no, it doesn't work that way. And I could bring up some things. I'm sure that right away in your own heart to mind, some things will come up, go, yeah, exactly. And it seems like in Exodus 19, on how God is setting clear lines, okay? These are clear lines that you do not overstep. And how important that seems to God. Is it really that, he doesn't want what? So Moses went up on the mountain. What did he see? It doesn't say what Moses saw, right? How did he see God? Right? Just a booming voice? Well, sounds like a volcano broke up. Right? Yeah? But Moses was safe to go up the mountain. Right? He was safe to go up the mountain, so, could not have been an active or a volcano in the way we know how volcanoes work. But it seems to me that the strength that comes out of that chapter is about obedience to certain things that we do not get to change just because we want to. Uh, For us then to find a way to break the laws. That should always be in place. We shouldn't even have to be told. Yes? Well, in any case, interesting. First, I'm starting to read them. Immediately, my mind goes, but that's not the God I know. He would not. Why would he? No. But again, how do we understand? How do we want to understand the Bible? Right? Yes? Do you need an excuse for God to be vengeful? And hey, if you don't, then you're going to die, or this, that. Is that what you need? Or are you getting something else out of this passage? How important it is to understand God's point of view when it comes to everything that's been created, including ourselves, and how we do not get to cross certain lines. We just don't. And if we do, the consequences are horrific. Yes? Sadly, what I found, again, just studying what's going on out there a little bit, these consequences often don't even touch us ourselves, but the innocent ones out there. Yeah. Anyway, so there it is. That's what I have to share this morning. It's going to be a cool day here. And what I really want to do is clean some windows. It's difficult to keep your windows clean here right now with the stove. There's a fine layer of dust always. You can wipe everything down and a day later, it's already there again. And on the windows, and then with the dogs that come in and they shake, or it's like always something. But suddenly I have this urge. I'm cleaning windows. I have this urge today. I'll clean some windows today. And listen to some good music or something. We'll see. Well, that's what I wanted to share this morning. God's love and blessings always, and may He protect you. We had, not going to mention it in details, but God definitely protected one of our little ones in the extended family yesterday. And we're very grateful for that. Yeah. Very grateful. Yes. I will talk to y'all another time.